I start with giving the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. بداية أشكر الوفد الدائم للاتحاد الروسي على مبادرة.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to thank the Russian Federation for having taken the initiative to hold this meeting. I thank USG, Mr. Vladimir Voronkov, for the briefing he's provided. Madam President, the Al-Hasaka town, for a number of days now, has seen bloody actions beginning with the explosion of a car bomb by Daesh next to the industrial school in the Guayaran district. The American occupying forces had turned it into a detention center under the auspice of the Al-Qasd separatist group. And subsequent to that, the militia invaded the neighborhood, and military planes, American military planes, carried out a violent raid on the detention center, which led to the death of a number of victims, including innocent civilians, women, and children. There is a wave of displacements, collective displacements of tens of thousands of citizens living in this region, in addition to the destruction of a number of homes and in civilian installations and service installations, including the Sadkop Fuel Company, the Al Basal Bakery, the Al Forat University, an academic center, and others. The city of Al-Hasaka has what that city has gone through in recent days is the result of erroneous methods and policies taken by some Western countries towards my country since 2011 to the present time. It is the product of a number of serious violations of the principles of international law and the principles of the UN Charter by a number of successive American administrations and their allies who've passed over the Security Council and erroneously interpreted Article 51 of the UN Charter to form an illegitimate coalition, which is their own, and without the agreement of the Syrian government and without coordination with the Syrian government. We must point out here that the governments of some countries participating in this coalition have enrolled a number of foreign terrorist fighters to support them, sending them towards Syria to spread terror and chaos and to kill, destroy, and destabilize peace, security, and stability. And at the same time, they have kept the Security Council from responding on a number of to the numerous requests of Syria to create a legal international coalition to combat terrorism under the auspices of the United Nations and support efforts to tackle this danger and to fully implement Security Council resolutions and UN resolutions in general. The United States has used terrorism as a pretext to target the installations, civilian Syrian infrastructures, including schools, health centers, bridges, dams. They've destroyed entire cities. The city of Raqqa, which was completely destroyed. The Arab and Syrian armed forces were subjected to such actions, and the American occupying forces regularly transferred Daesh terrorists from the detention centers to their illegitimate military sites in Syria to recycle them and reuse them in order to set up and carry through their plan between the 7th and 13th of April in 2021, more than 100 terrorists were transferred to the Alomar oil site, which they are illegally controlling. In addition to that, between the 21st and 22nd of April 2021, they transferred more than 60 terrorists to their illegitimate base in al-Shaddadi in the southern region of al-Hasaka. And therefore, the events in recent days regarding the invasion by Daesh of the detention center and the industrial school is proof of this recycling of Daesh terrorist elements in an effort to find an excuse for the illegitimate presence of American forces on Syrian territory so that they can continue with their interference, steal our national resources, kill innocent people, and give support to separatist militia who are attempting to remove the citizens from the region. Account needs to be provided by the United States for these actions. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with the UN report, some 70,000 people, including women and children, are detained in Al-Hol, Al-Harij, Al-Roj camps under the control of the separatist KSD militia supported by the occupying power, the Americans. These camps are facing very difficult humanitarian situations. There's a high rate of crime. There are extremist trends, and the enrollment of child soldiers. They are removed from their families at the age of 12. By the age of 12, what is taking place in Al-Hasaka confirms our rightful demand to close these camps and these detention centers, which have become centers for propaganda, for extremist violent thinking. And we submitted our request to the countries concerned to take back their citizens, including foreign terrorist fighters, and their families to their countries of origin or their countries of residence by guaranteeing that they will be held accountable. The Syrian Arab Republic condemns the attempts by some Western countries to deny their responsibility to the foreign terrorist fighters and their refusal to take these individuals back by canceling their passports or their citizenship so that they are unable to return to their own countries of origin. And we condemn some approaches which involve returning children without their mothers. And separatist militia are being used so that these actions can be continued. The government of my country has cooperated with the international community, the Red Cross, to repatriate a number of these FTFs to their countries of origin. And among these countries, Russia, China, Albania, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Sudan, Egypt, South Africa, and others. And we invite other countries to adopt the same method. Finally, Madam President, applying Security Council resolutions must not be selective. There should not be double standards or criteria. The return of security and stability to Syria requires, first and foremost, guarantees for unity and sovereignty and the independence of Syrian territory and territorial integrity as stipulated in Security Council resolutions. and the immediate withdrawal of American and Turkish forces illegitimately present on our territory. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.